Max's story spreads the message of love, showing that it does not only come from blood relations, but also from strangers with sincere hearts. Let us know where you're watching from. Now, relax and enjoy this amazing story. Max sprinted down the sidewalk, his heart pounding in his chest. His oversized clothes billowed as he ran. He could hear the shouting and laughter of the 3 neighborhood kids who had been bullying him ever since he moved in with his foster parents. Today, like many days before, his mission was clear. Earn enough for a scoop of strawberry ice cream, save toward the G.I. Joe action figure standing proudly in the toy store window, and most importantly, buy a bouquet of fresh flowers. The flowers were not for decoration or a gift for anyone in his temporary home. Even though he had escaped Jake and his gang, a shadow loomed over his light-hearted mood, the fear of returning home late. Just as he was about to close the basement door behind him, he froze. It was Scarlett's voice, sharper than the chill of the evening air. Max's heart pounded in his chest as he pushed the door back. The house was eerily silent just a few minutes before. As he took a few tentative steps, a shadow fell across the hallway, and he looked up to see his foster mother, Scarlett, standing there with a stern expression etched onto her face. "Where have you been? Do you have any idea what time it is?" "I'm sorry, I lost track of time. We were playing at the park." "You were supposed to be home an hour ago. Do you know how irresponsible and selfish you are?" Tears pricked at the corners of Max's eyes, and he bit his lip to keep them from falling. "I didn't mean to." "You never mean to do anything, but you always manage to mess things up. Why can't you be like other kids who actually listen and follow the rules?" "I'm really sorry. I'll do better next time." Scarlett scoffed, her lips curling into a sneer. "There shouldn't be a next time. You're nothing but a burden. Every single day is a struggle with you. Why can't you just grow up and act your age?" "I'll try harder, I promise. I want results." Max was silent, his shoulders hunched in defeat as he stared at the floor. He wished he could disappear, that he could turn back time and make everything right. Her sigh let out a heavy breath as she shook her head in frustration. "I don't know why I even bother. Go to your room and stay there until I decide what to do with you." Max nodded miserably, turning to trudge down the stairs to the basement. The tension in the house was palpable as Scarlett's storm of sharp words continued, but her demeanor shifted dramatically with the sound of the front door swinging open. Sam, her biological son, burst through the door with the exuberance only a child could possess, his soccer uniform streaked with grass and dirt. He shouted, a wide grin spreading across his face as he ran into Scarlett's arms. Scarlett's stern expression melted into a warm smile the moment she wrapped her arms around Sam. Her body relaxed as she lifted him slightly off the ground in a tight embrace. "Oh, Sammy, you guys are so late. I was starting to worry." Frank, Scarlett's boyfriend, followed behind, carrying a bag of soccer balls and a cooler. His presence always brought a sense of completion to the family scene. Traffic was a nightmare. Scarlett laughed, her mood lightening further. "Sam, go wash up. Dinner will be ready soon." As Sam scampered off, Scarlett's eyes lingered on him with a glow of maternal pride. Sam was her joy, the center of her universe, the kitchen filled with the sounds and smells of dinner preparations. Meanwhile, Max sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the wall as tears streamed down his face. In the quiet darkness of his room, he let himself cry, the sound of his own weeping the only company he had. The laughter and chatter above, so full of life and love, were starkly different from the silence that surrounded him in these moments of solitude. Max's thoughts invariably wandered back to his mother. Lying on his small bed, Max closed his eyes, letting his memories take him back to a time when joy was a simple, everyday occurrence. 6 months ago, Max's mother passed away from lung cancer. Before that, she had tried to hide her illness, not wanting Max to know. As a single mother, she felt heartbroken at the thought of her son being left alone. In her final days, she arranged a safe place for Max and left him a letter. "My dearest Max, If you are reading this, I am no longer able to be by your side. This thought breaks my heart, but knowing you, my brave and bright boy, I am filled with pride. I have fought hard, not just against my illness, but for every moment I could snatch to watch you grow, to see your smile, to hear your laughter. I am not afraid of where I am going, but my heart aches at the thought of leaving you. This is not a goodbye, my love, but a promise that I am always with you, in every ray of sunshine, in every gentle breeze, and in the quiet moments when you feel alone. Look around, and you'll find me there. Please forgive me for keeping my illness from you for so long. I wanted to protect you, to let you enjoy being a child as long as possible. Remember, you are stronger than you think, and you are never truly alone. I have arranged everything, so you will be taken care of. Trust in the kindness of others, and never be afraid to show your own. Always yours, Mom. At that moment, holding the letter in his hands, Max felt as if he had lost everything. He was devastated by the reality that he would never see his mother again. He was placed in a foster center by social workers, where he felt lost and profoundly alone. Despite being placed with a seemingly perfect foster family, Max remained heartbroken and detached from the world around him. He struggled with depression and had difficulty connecting with others. If only the families he stayed with could understand the depth of his pain and give him the time he needed to heal, he thought. However, all 3 families he had lived with found it difficult to care for him due to his withdrawn nature. Linda, the caseworker managing Max's situation, was frustrated with him. When Scarlett, a woman willing to open her home to a foster child, Linda saw it as an opportunity. She sternly warned Max that if he didn't try to fit in this time, he might never find a family to call his own. Living with Scarlett and her son Sam, Max felt out of place from the start. Yet Linda's warning had made an impact on him. Determined to try his best, Max slowly began to make efforts to adapt to his new home, hoping to find a sense of belonging. Max and Sam had struck an unlikely friendship. Over the months, Max had come to see Sam's family not just as a temporary refuge, but as a potential home, a place where maybe, just maybe, he could belong. The fragments of memories about his mother were Max's most effective remedy in his new family. He drifted off to sleep without realizing it, the corners of his eyes still marked by traces of tears that had yet to dry. That sunny afternoon, after scoring a particularly tough layup against Sam, Max decided to head inside for a quick break. The house was cool and dim compared to the bright glare outside, a welcome relief. He padded into the kitchen and poured himself a tall glass of icy water. The relief was immediate, as the cold liquid quenched his thirst. With a sigh, he leaned against the counter, enjoying the moment of solitude. It was then that he heard it, a voice drifting from the living room. It was Scarlett, Sam's mom. Her tone was hushed and serious. "Yes, I know it's a lot of responsibility," Scarlett was saying into the phone. "But as long as the checks keep coming, I can manage. It's just Max eats like a horse, and it's not cheap feeding him." Max's hand tightened around his glass, the cold no longer comforting. "And another thing," Scarlett continued, oblivious to the eavesdropper. "Max's grades are top of the class, and it's starting to get to Sam. He feels overshadowed, and I don't think that's good." The glass in Max's hand trembled, a small shiver running through it, as if it too sensed the betrayal. Each word Scarlett spoke felt like a tiny, sharp-edged betrayal, cutting into him. "I might consider a younger child next year, someone who doesn't outshine Sam or eat so much." Max felt as if the floor had fallen away beneath him. The sense of safety and belonging he had slowly started to feel, with each passing day, each shared meal, and every night spent under their roof, crumbled into dust. He was just a business decision, a transaction that could be terminated if the expenses for him became too high. He walked back outside, his face a mask of composure. Ignoring Sam calling from behind, Max's feet moved lightly along the gravel path, a familiar yet somber rhythm that mirrored the heaviness in his heart. Today, he returned the cemetery, compelled by a need for comfort that seemed just out of reach anywhere else. The tombstone was simple, a gray slate standing solemnly among rows of similar markers. Max sat down in front of it, the grass cool beneath him, the world around him fading to a hush. He stared at the engraved name, a name that had once meant home, warmth, and laughter. A single tear traced a slow path down his cheek, glistening slightly before dropping onto his shirt. "Hey, Mom, it's me, Max. I miss you so much." Each visit, he brought flowers, vibrant field flowers initially, which, as the seasons changed, gave way to those he had to purchase when the fields lay barren. Funding these visits became a challenge. Scarlett never gave him cash freely. "Mom, I didn't bring flowers today. I always tell my foster mother that I want to eat ice cream and buy toys, but she won't give me money, so I did my classmates' homework to earn some. I got caught, and the teachers said if I did it again, they would report me to my foster mother. I won't do it anymore. Instead, I help the neighbors with chores to make money. When they ask me what I need the money for, I just say I want to buy ice cream and toys. They don't know I want to buy flowers for you. Mom, I miss you so much. On your birthday, I will definitely give you a beautiful bouquet of flowers." Max sat there, confiding in his mother's spirit, until the last light of sunset faded and darkness began to blanket the cemetery. He said goodbye to her and headed home, silently promising to live well, just as she had hoped. Finally, his mother's birthday arrived. For months, he had scrimped and saved his pocket money for a big bouquet of flowers. His plan was clever yet simple: feign a headache, ask his teacher for permission to leave early, then buy the flowers, and visit his mother at the cemetery after school. As Max headed to the flower shop, he couldn't help but walk with a sense of pride, imagining himself as a hero on a secret mission. He pictured the bouquet he would choose, bright and beautiful, the biggest one they had. However, his excitement was cut short by an unexpected encounter on the way. Jake and his gang blocked his path. They not only took his hard-earned money, but left him bruised. The gentle patter of rain began to tap rhythmically against the glass panes of Oliver and Vanessa's little flower shop nestled in the heart of their small town. It was nearing closing time, and the gray clouds had gathered quietly, almost as if they wanted to enjoy the colorful blooms without the bustling crowd. Just as the rain intensified, a soft knock echoed through the shop. Oliver opened the door to find a schoolboy standing there, his clothes muddy and torn, raindrops spattering his uniform. His face bore streaks, where tears had been hastily wiped away. The boy hesitated before speaking. "Could I possibly do some work for you in exchange for a bouquet of flowers?" "I'm afraid we're closed now, kid, and there's no work to be done." Max unzipped his backpack and pulled out a half-eaten sandwich, offering it to Oliver. "Could I trade this for a bouquet, please?" Oliver, touched by the request, called over to Vanessa. Vanessa approached Max with a gentle smile, crouching down to his level. "Which one would you like?" Max's eyes lit up as he scanned the shop. He pointed at the smallest, modest bouquet, and Vanessa retrieved it for him. "Whoever is receiving this must be very special to have someone like you looking out for them." Max extended the sandwich towards her. "I don't have any money today, but please take my sandwich. I only took one bite. I promise I'll come back and pay for the bouquet. Consider this bouquet a gift from our shop." Grateful, Max thanked them and stepped out into the rain, shielding the bouquet with his jacket as he started to walk away. Vanessa called out, "Hey kid, where are your parents? Don't you want to wait out the rain?" But Max was already running down the street, a small figure disappearing into the rainy haze. Vanessa peered anxiously at Oliver, her eyes shadowed with concern. Vanessa shook her head, her anxiety rising. Without waiting for another word, she grabbed her umbrella and dashed out into the drizzling rain, her heart pounding with worry for the boy. Though the rain had begun to subside, Vanessa found it hard to catch up, as Max briskly walked ahead. Suddenly, he turned down a narrow path that sliced through the old cemetery gates. Vanessa's breath hitched, She hadn't expected him to come here. With a heavy heart, she followed him at a distance, her mind swirling, with memories she struggled to keep at bay. The rain stopped completely as Vanessa watched Max approach a grave. Her steps slowed, and she held her breath as the boy carefully removed his jacket from around the bouquet. He gently placed them on the tombstone, smoothing out the petals before standing back. "Happy birthday, Mom." He then sat down on the damp grass, his shoulders shaking slightly. "I'm sorry, Mom. I wanted to bring you the biggest bouquet ever, just like I promised, but this was the best I could find. A nice lady gave me this bouquet for free because I lost my money, but I'll go back to pay her back. Maybe I can help out at their shop. They seemed really kind." Vanessa stood hidden behind a gnarled oak tree. The soft murmurs of Max's voice, laden with regret and sorrow, drifted through the air, reaching her ears and twisting her heart painfully. Her eyes, a deep well of sorrow, welled up with tears, each one a silent testimony to the ache in her heart. Max knelt beside a modest gravestone, his voice barely above a whisper. "I love you, and I miss you so much, Mom." His words faltered, choked by the rising tide of emotions. Vanessa's own grief resonated with Max's pain. Her memories, vivid and painful, surged. Just a few feet away, under the shade of a weeping willow, lay her own son, whose laughter had once filled her days before a cruel illness claimed his bright spirit 7 years ago. The floodgates opened, and Vanessa's tears cascaded down her cheeks. Her sobs sliced through the quiet cemetery. Her grief, usually a silent companion, now voiced itself loudly. This drew Max's attention. He turned, his tear-streaked face registering confusion at the sight of the familiar lady from the local flower shop emerging from behind the tree. "I'm so sorry, kid. I'm so sorry about your loss." Her heart shattered further as she thought of the deep void Max must feel without his beloved mother. Taking tentative steps forward, Vanessa closed the distance between them and slowly sat down on the grass, coming to Max's level. She wiped at her tears, her gaze full of empathy and understanding. "I'm sorry for following you. You're a really sweet and kind boy, and I was just worried about where you went in the rain." Max remained silent, absorbing her words. They struck him deeply, more profound than he expected. It had been a long time since anyone had shown him such genuine concern, and her kindness touched a raw nerve. His eyes brimmed with tears, the emotions he had been holding back, now threatening to overwhelm him. To distract himself, Max began to gather the old flowers scattered around his mother's tombstone. Vanessa watched him for a moment, her heart aching for the boy. Breaking the silence, she spoke gently. "It's hard, isn't it? Feeling like you're carrying it all alone." Max nodded, not trusting his voice. He kept his focus on the flowers, afraid that any attempt to speak would unleash the flood of emotions he was barely containing. "You're not alone, kiddo. I understand more than you might think." The air hung heavy between them, filled with their shared understanding of loss. Together, they sat in silence, each lost in their own thoughts, but comforted slightly by the presence of someone who truly understood. The cemetery lay quiet. The only sounds were the distant calls of birds and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze soon. The quaint charm of Vanessa and Oliver's flower shop had become a sanctuary for Max. Ever since that poignant day at the cemetery, the boy found solace among the blooms and greenery, eagerly helping around the shop after school. His presence was not one of obligation, but of a deep-seated need for connection, especially with Vanessa, who had become a surrogate figure in his life. One overcast afternoon, while Vanessa and Max were at the cemetery planting new flowers, Oliver was left to manage the shop alone. The bell above the door chimed gently as a customer entered. The sound, usually a precursor to a friendly greeting, however, shifted the atmosphere, as the woman known in the neighborhood as Scarlett entered quietly. "Is this the shop where the owners exploit child labor?" "Excuse me? What do you mean by that?" "Max is my son, and I've been informed he's being forced to haul things around here." Taking a moment to compose himself, Oliver straightened up, his gaze fixed firmly on Scarlett. "You should be careful about tossing such accusations around, Scarlett. If anyone is abusing the situation, it's you for neglecting your son's need for care and affection." That visibly shook Scarlett. She hadn't anticipated her confrontational approach to be met with such a robust defense. "Max comes here because he finds peace, something he seems to need quite a bit." The color drained from Scarlett's face as she absorbed Oliver's words. Anger mixed with a flicker of realization in her eyes, but her pride wouldn't allow her to concede. "I want him out of here." Oliver shook his head resolutely. "He's welcome here as long as he wishes to be. Now I think it's best if you leave." Scarlett's shock turned into indignation as she processed his dismissal. With a huff, she stormed toward the door, slamming it behind her so forcefully that a nearby arrangement of chrysanthemums trembled as the door's echo faded. Oliver sighed deeply, his heart heavy with the confrontation. He worried about the impact on Max. Glancing at the clock, he decided it was time to close up. This evening, he shared his plans with Vanessa. Her reaction was one of stunned happiness. Though a man of few words, Oliver's actions spoke volumes about the size of his heart. The following days, armed with compelling evidence that Max's current foster family was failing to provide the necessary care and affection, Oliver had made a strong case to social services. Now, with their approval, he was about to change the course of Max's life. Unbeknownst to Max, these significant decisions were being made in the background. That morning, Oliver and Vanessa drove to Scarlett's house, where they knew Max was at school and Scarlett was expecting them. The atmosphere was tense but focused as they silently gathered Max's few belongings. Each item they packed was a symbol of the new life they were ready to offer him. Later that afternoon, Oliver waited outside the elementary school, his heart beating with a mix of nerves and excitement. As the school bell rang and children began pouring out, his eyes searched for one familiar face. When Max appeared and their eyes met, a warm smile spread across Oliver's face. Max, puzzled and surprised, approached the car. "What are you doing here?" Oliver paused, giving the moment the weight it deserved, then reached into the glove compartment and pulled out a notebook. "Is this yours?" Max's eyes lit up with recognition. "I've been looking for this for so long." Oliver's voice was gentle but earnest as he confessed. "You dropped it at the flower shop. I'm sorry for peeking into your notebook, but it helped me understand something important." He hesitated, ensuring Max was ready for what was coming next. Max, sensing the seriousness, listened intently as Oliver continued. "In your notes, you wrote about your times with us. You mentioned that the best present would be to stay with Vanessa and me." Max's eyes widened, a mix of hope and uncertainty flickering within them. Before he could respond, Oliver started the car and drove toward his house. The journey was short, but each second was laden with anticipation. As they pulled up in front of a cozy-looking home, Oliver turned to Max, his expression warm and welcoming. "Welcome home, kiddo." Max's response was a breathless, disbelieving whisper. His eyes took in the house that stood before him, a symbol of new beginnings. "Really?" Oliver nodded, smiling broadly. "Yes, really. Welcome to your new home." The world around Max seemed surreal, as if he had stepped into a dream from which he never wanted to awaken. He blinked hard, fighting back the tears that threatened to spill over. Do I not have to go back home today?" Oliver, standing beside the car, felt a wave of emotions surge through him. His eyes too brimmed with tears as he witnessed the raw, unguarded hope in Max's question. "Yes, kiddo. You don't have to go back there. This is your home now." Max's heart skipped a beat at Oliver's words. He slowly stepped out of the car, his legs trembling slightly, as he took in the sight of the small house before him. It was beautiful, almost fairy tale-like, adorned with vibrant flowers and bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun. Oliver wiped away his tears and managed to smile, standing strong for Max. He watched as the boy took a few tentative steps forward, then paused and looked back, seeking reassurance. Emboldened, Max walked forward again. Just then, the front door swung open, and Vanessa stood there, her presence like a beacon. Seeing her, Max's restraint broke, and he sprinted toward her with a burst of energy that only pure joy could fuel. Vanessa opened her arms wide, and the moment Max reached her, she enveloped him in a warm, protective embrace. They sank to the grass together, holding each other close. The world around them melted away. After what felt like an eternity, Vanessa gently released him. Her eyes shone with tears of happiness as she cupped Max's face in her hands. As the stars began to twinkle in the twilight sky, Max, Oliver, and Vanessa sat together on the lawn. Their laughter mingled with the gentle night breeze. The house, with its welcoming light and floral embrace, stood as a testament to a new beginning, a new family, and a new life for Max, where love, care, and warmth filled every corner. Both Max and Vanessa carry emotional wounds from their pasts. However, they found empathy in each other and overcame their pain together, proving that no one is truly alone if they open their hearts to love and kindness. If you were the owner of a flower shop, would you be willing to exchange a bouquet for a half-eaten cake like Vanessa did? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story touched your heart, give it a like and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to hear more inspiring stories. Goodbye, and see you soon.